My name is Luke Clement with Right Media Sports, and I am speaking with retiring head baseball coach at Clinton, Kelly Gaunt. Congratulations on retirement. That's always an awesome milestone. Did you know that this year would be the last at the beginning?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I probably knew last summer that I was just going to do one more year. So, it's been a fun ride.
What was the thoughts behind the decision to retire?
Oh, I think, just ready to do something different. 38 years of teaching and coaching and being transportation director and, involved in the schools and all the activities. And, um, it was just time. And, it was just time to move on and try something different for a while.
What was your favorite thing about coaching baseball? You do it for 38 years. You got to enjoy it, right?
Well, I think the reason you're in education to start with is because you like kids, and that's the one thing that has never changed. And maybe the only thing I probably enjoy. I mean, I enjoyed competing in the game of baseball, but I also still enjoy the kids, immensely. But bus rides and dealing with working on the field and dealing with all the other stuff that you have to be a head coach. I was ready for something different.
What were some of the changes that you saw in the high school game during your tenure?
Oh, for a long time, it seemed like not a whole lot. And then the last few years, I think it changed with the pitching rules. Um, they went real drastic with that. We went from, what used to be 5 innings, they changed to 35 pitches as far as sitting a day or whatever. And then the district play, in our classification, um, with predetermined and everything, I wasn't a big fan of that. I kind of liked it better the old way, which, I think most old guys do like the way it always was.
The state championship in '94 has got to stick out, but what are some of your favorite memories or favorite teams throughout the years?
Now, I think, there's a lot of them. Uh, a lot of it is, I'm sorry, it's kind of getting,
No worries, no worries.
but, I think a lot of it, you know, you play so many games. I probably remember the games from way back, sometimes better than I do the ones from last year or even this year. But the relationships you have with the kids, uh, when you're young, I think you're close to them, and I've been fortunate enough being in one place for so long that some of the kids I was closest to, I got to coach their kids. Uh, so I think that was um, a lot of fun.
What do you hope the legacy is that you've left behind?
Well, for me, your teams that they're going to, they'll win when they're good and they'll lose when they're not. But for me, it's going to be the relationships that I've had because as soon as the next guy comes in, um, I'm gone and that part's over. But the kids that I've coached, whether it's a seventh grade girls basketball team or a high school baseball team, those are the things that I will always cherish. And the the phone calls, the text, running into them somewhere, those type things is a great feeling.
To do it in one place for so many years has to say something. What did you enjoy about doing it in Clinton?
Well, I think Clinton's a great place. I mean, it's a great athletic town. We've had great athletes, we've had great support. Whether it's from the community or your administration or whatever it is. The fact that my kids were all raised here, and I was lucky enough to get to coach all three of them. Has been awesome.
And then last thing I have for you is longtime assistant coach Jeff King. Is he the next in line to lead the Red Tornadoes?
I don't know what they're thinking to take my place. But Jeff, if he wanted it, I would think would definitely be a shoe in. But he's just been a great assistant. And, he's the reason we won our state championship, long time ago. And he's just been great for the program. Great, he just does everything in the community. It's just a wonderful, wonderful person. And I had great help. This past year, Gunnar Gaunt, my nephew, helped along with Mike Deathridge and getting to work with those guys. Getting to know Mike was awesome, and then getting to work with Gunnar the last 3 years. has really been a thrill. I mean, it was something that was you know, made it fun.
Last thing, Coach, what would be your one piece of advice to a coach starting his first year next season?
Well, I think you're just going to have to, you know, deal with all the peripheral. I mean, but enjoy the kids. You know, I think as long as you put the kids number one, and treat them fair, you know, and love on them, you know, when they need loving on, and you know, get after them when they need getting after. But that's the thing that I think makes a successful coach.
Once again, my name is Luke Clement with Right Media Sports, and I have been speaking with Kelly Gaunt, retiring head baseball coach at Clinton.